What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 108 of my Total Warhammer 3 Boris Ursus and RuinousInsight campaign. So as we saw last time, Boris has started to move north and is approaching the Great Bastion while taking the first of the territories non-Lee in the desert of Cathay. This is going to hopefully allow us to capture all the territories to the east of the Great Bastion and then move Boris back around this way to attack the Chaos Wastes, while everybody here takes Norska. Obviously, Yarogni will take the Chaos Waste after he's done the never-ending combat against the endless Khorne lords, and I still do love the fact that he's been essentially holding all of the Khorne faction back pretty much by himself. Seems very appropriate. And then obviously we're getting a few more armies on the field, like our ranged army who is going to help out with this. We just really need to take Norska so that we can start invading the realms at the same time, essentially. Also, between the episodes, I took an absolute age to take care of some admin stuff, specifically items. And you know what? As shocking as this might sound, we're actually running out of items at this point. I never thought that this would happen, but yeah, we're basically nearly out, and we definitely don't have enough talisman type items or the... Wait, no, we have arcane items, but we don't have the... What type of item is this? Enchanted items either. Running very low on both of those. So hopefully we can steal some more or find some by attacking the demons, or maybe even some via the sea. Anyway, lots of stuff to do. Let's start by doing a few buildings, then we'll have a fight and the turn, and then, yeah, as usual, try to split up the fights and the admin. So... first of all, these territories... Ooh, you are going to get a rebellion longship graveyard. That is going to be a problem. Especially since it's happening soon and Serena Katrin's not going to be able to get back there. Although, if it happens at the Bay of Blades, it'll be less problematic because Blood and the Defender could land there. Alrighty, we'll deal with that in a second. Anyway, let's get those buildings upgraded first. So, Lower City Ramparts for Carcassonne, and those roads. Now... Okay. I was just wondering whether we can build a church here or not, but let's start with the money, and then we'll go for the church last, if needed. We still need to get a massive amount of Patriarchs. And speaking of the Patriarchs, one of the next armies, or possibly the last army that we're going to build up, is going to be an Elemental Bear-focused army. And I'm thinking just a bunch of Elemental Bears and a bunch of Patriarchs to heal them and provide the other auras as well. Essentially just going to be a sort of a silly... Ooh, wait, we don't need the Gospodas here anymore, do we? Essentially just going to be a silly sort of army, like a silly vanilla Doomstack sort of army that I don't usually do, but it's so late in the game, it's sort of why not at this stage. Anyway, let's keep building. You, and obviously Market to get that hallowed wood in there. Still need to keep the Gospodas here as we are... I keep calling the taverns Gospodas because the last level is a Gospoda, but I guess they're taverns. But I'm not going to remember because I never learn. Anyway, farmsteads... good. Mindenheim is starting to make an okay amount of money, but still not nearly as high as I was hoping when we took the place over. Next up... Oh, and sorry, I do have construction outside today, so if you can hear it on the recording, all I can do is yell out my window. And that's never worked before. Alrighty, Sylvania, we could spend all of our cash on getting the Convents of Ice, but we're not really in need of extra Frost Maidens right now, so I guess we can wait on that one at least a little bit. Though I was thinking about getting an extra Frost Maiden in this army, potentially, to buff up the ranged units further. We would have to then decide on which unit we delete, and it would have to be one of the Ice Guard, which would be kind of unfortunate. And I don't really want to delete the Streltsy, mostly because the other army, Serena Katrin's army, already has a ton of Ice Guard. But then again, your buffs are specifically for the Ice Guard, and I think the other mage that we would get also has buffs specifically for the Ice Guard. Oh, alright, before you join this, you need to actually get some stuff. Okay, fine. Scouting, Ice Maiden's Kiss, Frost Shield, definitely max out Ice Sheet. You are going to go Champion of the Ice Guard. I think. Yeah, still champion of the Ice Guard. I mean, yeah, we're not really using them to fight, I will grant you, and in this particular army, we probably will not. You know what? You know, since we're out of items, we could go Eagle-Eyed just for the extra magic item drop chance, but then +5 really isn't that much. I'm almost tempted to say the cooldown to magics, but 10% really isn't that much either. It seems like Champion of the Ice Guard is essentially giving us a free Blade of Bloodshed or something like that, and by virtue of the buffs, over the 10% is probably better. Although I'm willing to bet that with 10% we might get full uptime. Oh yeah, full uptime on the ice sheet anyway, regardless of what you do. So it doesn't really matter. I guess it is more uses of Frost Maiden's Kiss, or Ice Maiden's Kiss, but meh. Ambush defense chance. You know, plus 30% is pretty significant. Especially since Tzeentch seems to have some kind of ambush stance power. Man. I don't know why this is such a big decision in this particular situation. It's mostly because this army is an all-ranged army, which is making me, you know, rethink Champion of the Ice Guard. Though I suppose if you do need to fight, you will need to. But you know what, let's go Eagle Eye for once, at least. And in that way, we won't have the same thing as all the other times. All right, let's get you 1 point in Guardian's Call. I do want to try to get Arcane Conduit. Frostblades probably, because there will be situations in which the Ice Guard want to fight. Now, I'm just kind of rethinking Eagle Eye, because what if, you know, you need to... Yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. All right, Evasion, please. Then let's get you Heart of Winter and Crystal Sanctuary. Arcane Conduit. We have 4 points remaining. Definitely gotta max out Ice Maiden's Kiss. 1 point in Heart of Winter. Crystal Sanctuary is rarely used, so let's go 2 points in Guardian's Call, and then that'll be it. For now, obviously. Alright, good. Now, you are trying to get to your debut battle, which is probably going to be against Darius here, so keep moving. And then we'll join you guys together. Slanesh. Let's move you now. Good. And yeah, once again, I'll think about adding another Frost Maiden to this. Also, what's the damage now? 50% or 51. Pretty good. Pretty good. 167 on you, eh? Alrighty, well, there's probably still plenty of moves to make you Rogni. Stay where you are for now, Blood of the Defender. Yeah, okay, you're gonna grab this. Just have to figure out what's going on here. Ooh, wait, there was going to be a battle. Approach his carcass. Auto-resolve this.
Remember your training.
I just now remembered that... Wait, execute captives. I have free scroll of shielding, which is garbage, but at least it'll allow us to potentially fuse it with another item to get a better item. This is what I was thinking. Ventress Death Metal with your pretty interesting army. 3 Soul Grinders, 4 Bloodthirsters. I mean, if the AI is doing this, we can certainly do the same thing with Elemental Bears. Anyway, time for Svetlana Stefanovic to fight. This is not an ideal army to fight this with, but we're gonna give it a shot. The casualties are low, probably because of the vigor in battle, though it won't stop the Soul Grinders of Khorne from doing a lot of missile damage, so it's still most definitely a concern. We're gonna fight this cinematically, though, because I really love cinematics with this particular army. Let's get to it.
The solace of the blizzard. My snows shall keep you safe this day.
Alright, we will see whether those snows in fact keep us safe. Obviously this battle shouldn't be insanely difficult, but obviously also this is the infantry army, and it is not very good against giant units like the Bloodthirsters and the Soul Grinders and the Demon Prince. And they've got 3 Soul Grinders, 4 Bloodthirsters, plus the Demon Prince as well. So we will have to deal with a lot of that with our infantry, rather than with the ability to shoot them down via range, which we would obviously prefer. On the bright side, since this is the Legion of Chaos, they can only summon Furies, which are not nearly as threatening as getting a bunch of Bloodthirsters, or Bloodletters rather, in your in the middle of your army. A bunch of Bloodthirsters would also be pretty bad in the middle of your army. Huh. I can hear these like crackling sounds like electricity. I wonder what that's from. Is it from the summoned unit starting to dissipate? Huh. I'm gonna listen more to exactly what the heck that noise is, because I don't remember hearing it before. Now I am wondering. Anyway, I'm trying to get the enemy army to actually approach us, and it does look like they've finally decided that they're upset at the little Groms constantly firing at them. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting when we get hit by this little line of flyers here. I like that the Demon Prince is covering in the middle between all those Bloodthirsters. Seems very appropriate, especially as he has all the coordinate gear, it seems, by the fact that he's all red and stuff. Anyway, let's see what this looks like from our side. I like the light shining on the water there. Very picturesque little battle before the mountains, or surrounded by mountains? Somehow you're always surrounded by mountains. Huh. Wait, shouldn't we see the sea on one side? We're not like in the middle of Norska. We should be able to see the water somewhere. Well, either way, summoning our elemental bear to try to get in the way of some enemies, or at the very least to stop those soul grinders from dishing out too much damage. You can see it breathing on them in the background, but once again, it's mostly a distraction. Hopefully the elemental bear will stop enough units of their army getting through while we try to take care of all of those Bloodthirsters. And here we go. While we do have a limited number of Ice Guard between 3 sets of artillery, 2 little Groms and our Hellblaster, and 4 Ice Guard, which I've all put very close to each other so that they can all benefit simultaneously from the Gust of True Flight. Let's see how we can do about focusing a few of these Bloodthirsters down before they get to our lines. Now, do artillery stagger the aerial units or no? Okay, you just took a hit from a little Grom and took no stagger from that, unfortunately. Alright, looking like some good damage is coming in. 1 burns and falls to the ground. Next one is at half HP, so I think we'll be able to bring 2 down before the battle line is broken. Well, not broken, but reached. Alright, down you go shortly. I really want to see that fall to the ground while burning animation. It's quite good. Now that I've noticed it for the first time, I'm really appreciating it. And I guess generally speaking, the Bloodthirsters have quite nice death animations, both from the air and on the ground, where they roar in anger before they die. Alrighty, down you go, buddy. Huh, is this one not gonna light on fire? Oh, yes it is, okay. Very, very nice. Ooh, yeah, with the extra shots coming through while it falls. Beautiful. Down you go, fella. Alrighty, next up we have our lines. We are going to counter the enemy with our Patriarchs as well as our Warbear Riders, obviously, to try to hold these guys. The Demon Prince, however, ooh, wow, he's using all his abilities. 934 weapon strength, nearly to Scarbrand's level, but his armor is only at 30, which means all of our Ice Guard should be able to bring him down fairly quickly like this. He won't be able to resist it long enough. Oh, damn, look at that laser coming in from those Khorne Soul Grinders when in close combat. Very nice. Alrighty, some casts going down in the middle of the ground there on top of our summoned Snow Leopard, which is helping out as it got a few extra bits of damage. Down goes the Demon Prince. The Patriarch is held, and now it's going to be a matter of trying to hold with our other Patriarch as well as our Warbear Riders. We do still have another Warbear Riders, which I was keeping on this flank under the assumption that another Bloodthirster would land here, but it looks like we did quite a lot of damage to them. They are, of course, in March stance, so they are quite a bit weaker due to the lack of Vigor, although the Vigor, as I recall, was not nearly as bad of a debuff in vanilla as it purposely is in SFO, so not nearly something to be as concerned about. Ooh, Warbear Riders versus Minotaurs, plus the Bloodthirsters helping out. Too bad we don't have a few of our own elemental bears to bolster these lines. some Furies coming in, whereas we are going to counter with some Hawks of our own. Hawks and Miska, that is, to try applying Discourage to the enemy. Looks like another Bloodthirster has fallen, and in the background, one of the Soul Grinders has fallen, and the second one is just about dead. The enemy Skull Crushers are being focused down by one of our units of Ice Guard, and they tried to charge into those Tzar Guard, but they're not having a bad day, or good day at all. They are indeed having a bad day. Furies are going to try to land, and they are distracting some of our Ice Guard, which is a good use for them. The longer our Ice Guard aren't firing, obviously, the less damage they're able to do. And we are relying on them greatly here, because once again, the infantry ain't so great against these guys. But it looks like the enemy army is done for. All the Bloodthirsters are in banishment, or actually there's one Bloodthirster that's currently unstable. And down you go, buddy. I meant to say big units, like the Soul Grinder. One Soul Grinder remains. Oh, and there's a Beast of Nurgle here who was fighting one of the Patriarchs before getting obliterated. So will the Soul Grinder follow. I was expecting this army to put up a little bit more of a fight, to be perfectly honest. There you go. And just like that, this army should be non-viable. They're also in March stand, so we don't actually have to kill everybody, but we do want to get a Salyax Lullaby on our Patriarch, because one of them got pretty badly hurt. And there we go. Just like that, the last of the enemies fall. I think there was one unit out here that got killed by a little Grom just as it ran. It has no rider. I wonder where the rider is, yeah. It says close victory, but it looks like we did pretty well. I don't think the damage was all that bad here. Let's see what the actual result is, though. Alright, looks like the auto-resolve was not lying that time. That went very, very much in our favor, and it looks like for once the Hellblaster Volleygun performed on par or better than the Little Groms, which makes me pretty happy and makes it seem like it was certainly worth putting it into this particular army. The 4 Ice Guard may not be quite enough range firepower for a full stack of, you know, or like a full Bloodthirster Doom stack, but it certainly did help at knocking down those massive single target units, so well done everybody. And we held the line quite well as well. Now, we should probably, you know what, let's get the money this time, if we're going to summon a massively expensive Elemental Bear thing, and especially if we're going to take Cathay territories, which are quite expensive to build up. This is probably going to be worth the effort. Fine.
Kislev.
Plus we'll heal to full here anyway. And we got another Banner of Swiftness, which could actually work. We got the Slayer of the God Slayer, very nice. Defeated the Demon Prince, very useful for the minus 50% casualties, especially as we're invading the Chaos Realms. In fact, ideally we'll want to see who has that particular trait, and then send them out into the wastes first. Now you, Svetlana, I think you're ready to move to Black Gulch, so let's start moving you here. Keep in friendly territory, but move out to Black Gulch. And then kill Pinchai on the way if you can. Let's also steal tech while we're here. Good job, and yeah, we got 7 turns of this, and while we're stealing tech thief. Let's move you up here, let's see what's going on at the Monolith of Catan. Not that you can reach it right now. Now, Beledna, I would like you to potentially land at the Bay of Blades, but you're going to be hurt if you do. Let's see if we can't move Tsarina Katrin towards Iern. Although, wait. You know what? I don't know, but it might be that Red Ulgor might be able to reach Longship Graveyard if we do, which obviously has me quite concerned. Where could you guys reach? You could reach the Bay of Blades. We could land without, Wait, would you be able to go to Longship Graveyard? No, unfortunately not. I was just thinking of swapping out, because, you know, if we try to colonize the Bay of Blades, this army will be badly damaged and we'll get attacked by both of these stacks, and let's face it, that Bloodthirster stack's a little bit much right now. At least for an army to fight at a third of itself. Well, let's do this. Tsarina Katrin, we're going to move you up to this location. We're going to go into an ambush. Though Khorne isn't a big fan of such things. At the very least, we might get one of these armies. Or even better yet, draw Red Ulgor close to kill him and then proceed. Once again, it's just a matter of not having enough armies here as yet. Then, You know what? Beledna, hover around the Bay of Blades. We'll see what these other armies do, and then we'll make our landing afterwards.
Sister of ice.
And we could also summon a temporary lord to grab it for us, which is another potential... You know what? Maybe. There's potential for that. I'll think about it. Let's do the other stuff that we need to do first, and then we'll figure that one out. Alexander Kristina, you are going to move towards the last Sky Castle. Keep grabbing the... Oh! There's an ogre army here. Right. You are going to auto-resolve this way. Just double-check that there isn't a full stack nearby. There is a full stack nearby, but it is a garbage stack, so I think it's not going to change anything. Let's auto-resolve it anyway. We'll probably lose half of our war sleds like we do every time. Oh, wow. Only a couple of war sleds. Shocking. I'm genuinely shocked, though not appalled for once. Let's get that Kossar hut up. You know what? Keep the Orthodoxy Chapel here at the Hissing Pits for now, mostly because there's a lot of corruption and, well, the territory won't grow very well until that's gone. Now, Gutblout needs to be dealt with. And how would we deal with him? I think this army needs a little bit of extra oomph in order to do that, even if this is trash. So, we'll delete you, and let's just think about this. We certainly have the money. I don't want to spend too much, but like 2 little Groms and like 5k. Oh, I really don't want to spend 10k on this, but yeah, so let's say we take out 4 of these guys. We put in 2 little Groms, because they're great against the ogres. And then, well, Streltsy are great against the ogres too. We need something to actually hold the line. Zargard or Armored Kossars. You know what? Let's just get 3 Armored Kossars. What about 4? Do we need a 4th? This guy can't reach us here in one go, can he? Hopefully not. I'm tempted to just get a 4th Armored Kossar. Because now I'm thinking we should probably use this army to just outright destroy or take Blizzard Peak for ourselves. So it wouldn't really be too bad if it had at least some units. Do you have buffs for these guys? You don't have firing drills, damn. Should have gotten that. Oh well, not a big deal. You were never supposed to stick around. That army was supposed to be a very temporary army. Anyway, Marat Fedosov, go attack Blood Peak. And, oh, you can't reach it in one go, can you? Okay, you'll have to do it next turn. You're gonna suffer a little bit of attrition. I actually completely forgot that you had already moved this turn. But oh well, the garrison there is still gonna be absolute trash, so it's not gonna make any kind of difference. Now, Vladimir Talov, I think we want you to capture Tower of Ashir. I'm gonna hope that Kairos doesn't move towards here. Mostly I want to grab this and nearby territories before our allies do. Alright, there we go. Tower of Ashir, obviously don't collect the income. Let's start building it up. It's going to be very expensive, but, you know, because it has spices and furs in one province, it makes me think like it's probably worthwhile. And Hanuport is probably a tier 5, so we could capture a tier 4 if we wanted to go down here, though I'm not 100% sure. Also, it's kind of shocking that the AI doesn't go over here to capture this particular territory, since it appears to be all ruins as well. And, ooh, hello. If it isn't an iron mine, which means upkeep production across our entire empire for all of our armies. Alright, so we definitely want to capture this province as well. Yeah, well, it looks like we'll be taking more of Cathay than I had originally planned, but oh well. Not a huge problem with the amount of money that we're getting right now. You guys keep an ambush stance, I guess. And does anybody else need to move this turn? Or are we good? Looks like the assassins need to move. Alright, assassins, begin by going after Alice or Alas. And you failed, but you did get something out of it, so not horrible. What about you? Can you kill an Arath? You cannot. Double failures. Oh, come on, assassins. Such a roller coaster with these assassins. Some episodes it seems like they kill everything, and then other episodes they accomplish nothing. Wound. Can you wrong me attack anything from here? There you go, there you go. Showing the other assassins how it's done. Yeah, I feel like Urogni can't leave this location right now. Alright, fine. We'll do this. We'll put Uragni into ambush stance outside the settlement again. It'll mean not healing up, but maybe the other Khorne armies will draw closer to him. When Khorne armies are afraid of you, you know you've made it. Alright, Assassin, you. We're looking for more agents. I'm not seeing any right now. Which makes me think we should keep you here, or we could send you up here to deal with all these. You know what? Temporarily send you up here. Especially since the assassins have been, you know, failing a little bit. Otherwise, you know, 41k means we could very well upgrade these. You know, let's just do it. Otherwise, it'll keep showing up, and that'll just keep annoying me greatly. There. Just a huge amount of cash wasted on that, but whatever. Beledna, you are going to stay where you are. We just need to figure out what we're going to do with... Was somebody... attacking? No, 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 no. At this point, we've got so many armies that I'm getting confused as to who's supposed to fight and who's supposed to stay where they are. No, I think we're good. I think we're good everywhere. Alrighty. Well then, let's end the turn. Let's see if anybody attacks us. Unassigned skill points here is not moved. End turn now. Exiles. Ambush failed by Tsarina Katrin, but that's okay, because that does mean a fight. You know what? She has not gotten a crazy amount of cinematic battles in the recent couple of episodes, though she did have some very nice ones earlier, so I say we do this one cinematically as well, even though this army is kind of pathetic and has no chance. Let's get to it.
I will not brook cowardice, hesitation, or failure. Fight until your last breath.
Well, most of the time they do try to fight until their last breath, because they do have the advantage of by our blood and the fact that they become unbreakable when they're on their last legs. Kislevites, that is. Anyway, here we go. Looks like a pretty interesting matchup, unlike the battle against Ventress with our infantry army, which would also probably have some trouble against this many bloodletters. The enemy does not have as many large units this time. Just the Lord, who's a level 31, a single Bloodthirster, I believe, and I want to say a couple Soul Grinders? Yeah, a couple Soul Grinders. Otherwise, it's just a massive force of Exalted Bloodletters, which should be pretty vulnerable both to our spell work as well as to our ranged fire as well. Looks like they do summon their Bloodletters, and is obviously a little bit more threatening to fight the Khorne faction because of the randomly appearing Bloodletters in the middle of your army, as opposed to the Furies of the Legion of Chaos. On the other hand, by the fact that they've done a lot of damage in the past with us, I've learned to essentially immediately pop the Crystal Sanctuary on the unit that they summon on top of. The plus 60% ward save is pretty good at countering taking too much damage from those guys. We only had 3 unit losses here, and what, 15% damage? We've definitely lost like half a unit of Ice Guard before to a clutch summon of Bloodletter, so I'm happy with that one. Anyway, summoned our Elemental Bear on top of the enemy and are going to continue bombarding them until they get angry enough to get over here, damn it. Obviously, we want them to come to us. Ooh, on the right side, we do get some nice fights between an Exalted Bloodthirster as well as this Elemental Bear, although the Elemental Bear should go down quickly. And unlike Nakari, the Exalted Bloodthirster does not like it when they go down quickly. Alrighty, well, it looks like you're in orange lightning now, so you should be gone. Oh, I like the little push with pause. I guess sync animation. I don't know if that was this actual sync animation or a coincidence. No, that's clearly a sync. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Though the push doesn't seem nearly as effective as, you know, clawing or ice breath or anything along those lines. Anyway, there we go. The enemy Bloodthirster has suffered comparatively little damage, but the goal there was not to damage the enemy so much as to kick the anthill, as it were. Our little Groms are now going to be targeting these Blood Crushers. No, those are Skull Crushers. As well as, well, I think it's 1-1, as well as the other Bloodthirster that's moving out ahead. Oh, is that a Blood Reaper heading out towards as well, or is that a single... Is this a single Blood Crusher? No, it's just a mountless unit, okay. Fair enough. Oh, That was almost a miss, but you did manage to get one, and somehow the Juggernaut died as well, though it didn't look like it actually got hit. And here they come. Quite a long ways to getting towards us, but with the gust of true flight, they're going to have a bad time once they get in range of Tarina Katrin's massive ranged army. And here we go. You're about to take a lot of shots, and not in a good way. There we go. And you're slowed down as well, aren't you? Because of the frostbite that is on those ice shards. Your speed is now 43, which is pretty slow for a massive flying unit. I mean, it's more than halved. Is something else slowing you down as well? Doesn't look like it. Interesting. Ooh, missile block chance and charmed shield. That's pretty interesting. Too bad we don't have a any Streltsy in this army. Not that I think we'll need it. It doesn't look like the enemy will survive to get to our line. It's just, there you go, down. Oh, I love that animation yet again. Down you go, and now we go for the next one. There's a blood shrine moving in, but these things are really quite fragile and explodes pretty much instantly. But behind all that, here come the rest of the bloodletters, as well as a single bloodthirster that is still alive. Can they make it up this hill? They have to go through all of the ranged fire, in addition to repeated casts of ice sheets on the ground, because we have 2 ice mages in this particular army. And then they'd have to make it past our living tanks there as well. Or actually, not so much living. Technically, they're not alive, are they? They're elemental creatures. They're more like, I'm gonna call them golems, right? They're not really golems. They're just, I don't know how to exactly classify. They're magical constructs, but they're not. But they're constructs that dissipate. Because they're not around permanently, right? Or maybe they are around permanently. I gotta look more into how exactly these things are made. I just meant to say they don't have the same level of permanence as like a Hyro Titan or an Ushabti or something like that. But I could be wrong about that one. Alrighty, well, it looks like the enemy has not yet breached our lines. At least their bloodletters have, though the skull crushers appear to be getting at least 1 charge in there. Though they should be broken very shortly, especially as they are charging into units that have a lot of melee attack. 82 melee attack on these. That's pretty damn solid. And they're not the glaive. Wow, actually, these ones are the glaive ones, but these ones are the sword ones. Yeah, Tarina Katrin her army has an absolutely massive buff to the melee capabilities of the Ice Guard. It's actually, I think they outfight the Zargard quite handily in this particular army. And then on top of having a massive amount of range firepower. Anyway, over on this flank, we send in a summoned Snow Leopard as well as our non-summoned Snow Leopards to see the enemy Skull Crushers as well as the Blood Shrine off, which does work quite well, though they did manage to hurt our Frost main because she got trapped in the enemy Skull Crushers. Still, there's definitely value to be found in the Snow Leopards when attacking certain types of units like that. They're quite good at killing cavalry, as they do seem to kill a single unit with each strike. Bloodletters are having a pretty terrible day. Frostbite in combination with Ice Sheet and all those Ice Guard are bringing them down as well. Now the Gust of True Flight coming in as well and buffing them up with, or buffing our Ice Guard specifically, up with additional accuracy. And down go all those Bloodthirsters. Bloodletters, every time. I keep confusing those two. Alrighty, and then there was one. You gotta love the Soul Grinder animations though. The Khorne Soul Grinder animations are really quite nice, but they all have really great animations. The magical javelin throw of the Tzeentch one, the scream, the sonic attack of the Slaneshi one, and I guess the bombardment of the Nurgle one, though I think in melee the Nurgle one isn't quite as interesting. But yeah, well done to the enemy. Oh, that was the last parting shot from that Soul Grinder. But at the end of the day, it doesn't look like they did much damage to our army at all. I think the one unit that really took damage was our Frost Mage that got trapped, but otherwise our line really didn't take any damage and was a decisive victory as well, in spite of the fact that we lost quite a bit of ammo. Well, the battle itself certainly not what I would call difficult, though once again, because we don't have any patriarchs in this particular army, we do have to remember its relative fragility, and the fact that even though we do have elemental bears and snow leopards to, well, elemental bears to tank and snow leopards that are individual units, we can't heal them, and same thing goes for the frost maidens. So yeah, very good damage to some individual units, even if not towards the army itself. Now, as for this, we're going to take 5.2k. That's just too good to pass up, especially since we just used a ton of cash. As for the enemy, looks like Gorebirds is going to attack Frost Engineer Alexander Castillo. Oh, it's not going to attack, it's just an interception. I would like to auto-resolve this. I'm gonna hope that this doesn't kill too many of our units. Yeah, okay, we're fine. We're fine. Should be able to get that back up, and let's just execute the captives rather than taking the money. Ellen Delling, what you want? You want... Wait, what? Wait, what? You're fighting with Visenland? Oh, I didn't even realize that. Oh, my bad. When did this start happening? I should have double-checked that. I didn't realize that at all. In fact, wait. Declare war. Wait, is there a diplomacy version where they stop fighting? Like, cease war? That would actually be swell, but You know, this is the first time in thousands of hours of various Total Warhammer games where I thought, hey, maybe we want somebody to actually stop fighting. But I don't think we can. Really, there should be a broker peace thing, especially if you're allied to them both. And I know that the diplomacy of these games is hardly robust, but broker peace should absolutely be a thing. Yeah, we're obviously not going to join that. That would be silly. Well, I guess they'll keep fighting amongst themselves, which is a little bit unfortunate, but what can you do? Oh, a plague on Serena Catherine. Is this a attrition plague? No, it is not an attrition plague. Oh, okay, we're good, we're good. Alrighty, and we got a Relling Sword and a Shrieking Blade that we can delete for other items, as well as suddenly a bunch of items. Castle Alexandrinov, sieged again, though I doubt that Darius could take it. Ooh, especially since it looks like our allies actually built a frickin', they built their outpost here. We got a couple Free Jade Warriors in here, even if we don't have anything else. Huh, well that's really neat. Ambusher discovered imminent rebellion at the Icetooth Mountains. We actually knew about that because of Doomkeep. Yeah, that's fine. And did the enemy draw close enough for Urogny to kill? I think not. I think this guy will try to sail away, but Bloodfeaster should be close enough to kill. So at the very least, Urogny has another Khorne army to choose from, as he has had for absolute ages. And what the heck is going on here? For like 3 or 4 turns, Kugath and the Nurgle armies have been stuck, even though we've been in ambush waiting for them to do something. Very weird. Maybe the AI doesn't know what to do there anymore. Anyway, with that, we are going to call this episode here, as there is no more time remaining. I'm gonna have to kill you as well. And these guys are moving towards Tower of Ashir. Alrighty, but lots of stuff to do, lots of enemies to kill. Boris will probably kill Kairos next episode, though that might be auto-resolvable, considering it's a half an army against our best army, so I doubt that they're going to put up much of a fight. We'll see. And otherwise, we may take a few more of these territories near the Bastion and continue moving our other armies northward towards dealing with Norska. Now that we have Belenda the Defender about to land, this place is getting a lot more doable, I should say. Yeah. I think now that we've taken care of the Ventress army and then this Red Ulgur army, within the next few episodes, Norska should get absolutely wrecked. Or at least that's the plan. We'll see if we can stick to it. So stay tuned. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.